Fortnite is secretly changing things in-game. The smallest of stuff you probably wouldn't notice, but it is happening. We've become so used to the idea that a collab item is gone forever. For half a decade, anything tied with a crossover vanishes after a month, but that's not the case in Season 3. Predator's cloaking device was only in the game for a split second, and we all moved on, except it has been repackaged as a new and has nothing to do with the Predator. It's the start of a new trend that we've seen ever since Fortnite changed the Spidey mythics. I mean, these were so popular, we basically forced Epic to bring them back as the grapple gloves. So what's next? Are we gonna see a new version of every collab mythic that's ever existed? It might not be a collab, but it's already happening. Another fan favorite was the MK7. This was the first time we got a red dot sight in Fortnite, and people loved it. To this day, it is easily one of the most adored weapons, and when we heard it was finally returning, fans were desperate to get their hands on it. But now its return as the MK Alpha, and well, it's just not the same. A controversy Epic wants us to forget about involves Overwatch. In February, a spray appeared in the files called Hamster Cabby. It looks pretty adorable, right? Well, then people started comparing it to the hamster spray from Overwatch, and yeah, it was a carbon copy. This wasn't even inspired, they basically traced it. We kept waiting for its release, but nothing happens. Obviously, Epic delayed this after realizing the massive issue. Fast forward a couple months, and the files were updated again. Seemingly nothing had changed, except for one thing, the spray. Now this adorable hamster was changed with a fresh design, but it's been so long since this happened and the set is still unreleased. But a change everyone wanted was added after years of waiting. When Raptors were first added, people were begging Epic to make them rideable. It just made sense, especially with the leaked Saddler item, and we just couldn't stop talking about it, only for months, then years to pass with no progress. We gave up on the dream, and then Epic dropped a surprise update. Wolves and boars were now rideable, awesome, but I guess things still felt empty. Now we're in Season 3, and after 700 days of waiting, they actually did it. Rideable dinosaurs. Now there's a secret change that only just happened, which Fortnite intentionally left out of the patch notes. You've only been able to get the shadow tracker through the Peely NPC or the reality augment, so this update has gone completely under the radar. Well, anyone who uses the shadow tracker right now will realize it's been changed from a semi-automatic pistol to full auto, and we had no idea. Now not everything got better. There are two classic items that have been in Fortnite since Chapter 1, grenades and the heavy sniper. But despite being around for so long, Epic decided to change them. For years, grenades went unchanged because they worked fine. They did 100 damage, you could break a wall pretty well. We don't know why, but last season, Epic pushed a secret update that made them deal only 40 damage. Now they can barely break a wooden bench, never mind a wall. As for heavy snipers, a much needed change was sniper glare. Finally, you can see when someone's watching you, making them a lot less dangerous. They also can't one-shot walls anymore, so depending on who you ask, that could either be a good or a bad thing. But sometimes you gotta respect Epic's dedication. As far back as Chapter 1, you could buy a backbling that shows the island on it. At the time, I don't think Fortnite expected for this to be outdated every year, and now they're paying the price. That doesn't mean they forgot about it. Turns out they update this every chapter with the new map, so if you use the backbling right now, you'll see the current island. One of the weirdest changes Fortnite has ever secretly done involves Astro Assassin. You're probably familiar with this outfit by now, but before released, it was completely different. This was Gemini, a space bunny with an LED helmet. I mean, this design is way better than the one we got, but it turns out Epic had to fix this at the last minute because of copyright. Once again, they made a whole cosmetic that ended up being a clone of something else. Gemini was suspiciously similar to a character from Paladins. When it got leaked, people noticed this immediately, and so Epic was forced to change their plans. One of the biggest features that got overhauled is vaults. These started off as a middle finger to Apex Legends, adding mythic bosses around the map that could be eliminated for a key card. Pretty standard for a while, but Fortnite realized it was sort of unsustainable. It meant you needed a boss on the map constantly, and so they quietly changed the idea. Now we have keys and squad locks. You had to find a key in a chest or on the ground, then use it to get inside any vault you want. This seemed like the future of the system, only for them to change it back. Now in Chapter 4, you gotta eliminate high card for access to a vault, and this season, the latest rooms require puzzles to get in, forcing you to sacrifice purple and gold weapons just for loot. It feels like Fortnite really loves to experiment with this feature. They also love adding skins from the community like Joy. She is one of the most popular fan design outfits, and her built-in emote is incredible. But when it was first leaked, people had no idea what to expect, with the emote music sounding like this. Well, it wasn't until the day of release when we all logged in and realized the emote was secretly a part of the Icon series, and now Doja Cat could be heard instead. Sometimes changes are way too unexplained, like this gas station in Chapter 2. Sounds like a random POI to bring up, and that's cause it is. Nothing ever stood out about this place until one update which changed everything. Literally, they replaced the whole POI with a different gas station. It would have felt like a regular map change until players realized vehicles were phasing through the walls. This wasn't intended, it was a complete accident. Of course, it was fixed in a future update, but it still leaves us wondering how an entire location can be changed without anyone noticing. And so we're still trying to figure out why the Kinetic blade has gone through so much trouble. Just last season it released and was immediately loved by players, with 3 charges, dueling grounds, and the ability to dash around with no consequences. People had zero complaints about this, but Fortnite changed it anyway, adding a blue version with only 2 charges and fall damage. It got even weirder. Out of nowhere, players started equipping it, and the icon in their inventory was a completely different weapon from Save the World. Then with rumors that next season will be jungle themed, a katana sounded perfect. We all hope it would survive the loot pool purge. Oh yeah, as you know, it's gone, vaulting completely like the shockwave hammer from season 1. But one of the classic outfits is School Trooper, easily Fortnite's most recognizable Halloween skin. He became sought after by millions of people after only releasing during the first month of Battle Royale. Fortnite knew there was an opportunity to make a truckload of money, so they brought School Trooper back the following year. They also knew OG owners would be annoyed at the decision and gave them an exclusive purple style. Only problem is, they ruined the outfit. Now it had a weird blue glowing eye, and the worst part is, you couldn't turn it off. Now no one was happy. Original owners didn't have a rare skin anymore, and new owners are forced to get a blue eye version. Luckily, Fortnite fixes months later, finally adding the option to turn it off, but in my opinion, the damage was done. Another cosmetic that locked players out is the Stormbreaker pickaxe. With the endgame LTM, the whole marketing involved fish stick wielding Stormbreaker. It was everywhere, with the axe finally dropping in the item shop 2 years later. People rushed to pay tribute to their favorite trailer, only for fish stick to be banned from using it. In fact, no one could use it except for Thor. Even Captain America was locked out. This caused a lot of problems for Epic. People were not happy about it, and it caused them to do a total 180 and unlock the pickaxe. Now, I feel like everyone loves the mini stories that happen every chapter. Fortnite always hides Easter eggs on the map that we could follow every week. The original was Truckosaurus, one of the oldest secrets in Fortnite. He has been on the map since day 1 of Battle Royale and survived countless map changes. He was always updated to celebrate live events, like turning into Mecha Team Leader and then losing an arm. With Chapter 2, he survived the black hole and was found on the shore. Everyone thought he was like invincible. Then the island flip happened, ruining everything. For the first time, Truckosaurus was no longer with us, or so we thought. As Peely took driving lessons, he kept crashing his car into a streetlight, and eventually it caused a huge pileup, forming, you guessed it, Truckosaurus. Well, we don't always get a happy ending, because before it got completed, the entire thing vanished. It reminds me of the Rock family. These guys also appeared in Chapter 1 near Wailing Woods. A whole story happened here as they were driven from their home by the volcano and split apart. Thankfully, they reunited and had a kid together, living on a peaceful farm with a dog until the black hole event. It was a peaceful and wholesome story, but they vanished without a trace. Finally, 2 chapters later, they reappeared, emerging out of the sand and starting a new home by the ocean. As always, we thought a happy ending was coming, with them building sandcastles and sunbathing, only for them to vanish in a secret update. An update nobody notices happens every chapter, and that involves the default set. Majority of us don't use these things. We have better gliders, skins, or pickaxes, so it's easy to miss the fact they change all the time. With each chapter launch, Epic updates the OG set with new graphics and designs, which is honestly pretty cool for first-time players. But I mean, let's be honest for a second here, it's so they can sell us on the nostalgia bundle a couple months later. If we're talking about pickaxes, the rarest one in the whole game is the Axe of Champions. Only one group of people can own this, and it's the current FNCS winners. Every time a new one gets crowned, they lose the pickaxe and it gets handed to the next one. Well, originally, this was black and gold, but Fortnite later changed the color style to a chrome one for Chapter 3. Since then, it's looked way more like a trophy, but it's not like any of us could use it anyway. One of the coolest evolutions over the years has involved Fortnite's mascot, the Llama. These guys are merch machines. Epic will never get rid of them, but that doesn't mean they don't change them from time to time. They were the same for years until suddenly one day we logged in, walked up to a llama, and it started running away. Yeah, it took us all by surprise, and that's been the normal for a while now, but Fortnite's changed them again. In the key art for this season, you can look in the background and spot a brand new llama that's practically on fire. We have no idea what this means or when he'll show up, but I know I'm excited. Those are things secretly changed in Fortnite. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.